One question I've been getting a lot is about October versus November, because this is a point where folks might want to push back from October to November, or they're not sure which one to do. And I would say if you have doubts about October, give yourself the time till November. You've got about, 7 weeks till the October LSAT, which of course will be announced as a flex most likely any day now. But you could do, if you're not sure and you're feeling like the pressure is going to be on over those next 7 weeks, I would say give yourself the space and freedom to go for November instead if you're not sure, because you could still apply this cycle just the same, and it's not really a big difference in terms of having that early advantage of sorts. It's about a month and change, but law schools aren't going to view them that differently. It still lets you apply this calendar year either way, and with another 5 weeks or so, you could improve significantly. You could, of course, do both as well, but then you do want to be aware of the stress with those multiple buildups, and also knowing that you've got that retake limit reinstated now. So it's 3 times in 1 year. Testing years running from June to May of the following year, 5 times in 5 years, 7 times for life. And if you get a 180, you can't take it again. Those are the retake limits. And they were removed or lifted temporarily for the 4 LSAT flex tests up to this point. So the May, June, July, and August LSAT flex tests do not count towards retake limits. But going forward, October and November and beyond, even if flex, will count towards the retake limits. And so if you do October and November and you've got one more period for that year, so you may want to be careful about how you use them. November and January will count towards retake limits. Basically, they had these retake limits for about a year. They lifted them temporarily due to all the ambiguity and confusion and uncertainty about the new LSAT flex. But at this point, they're not going to leave the retake limits lifted forever. They've decided that enough is enough. They've given people a chance to try out the flex and remove some of the stress associated with the new format. And although it may be new for you, it's not new for the world. And so as a result, how nice they're going to be has limits, and those limits have been met by these 4 flex tests. So every LSAT going forward until we hear otherwise is going to count towards the retake limits. They say that these retake limits affect less than 1% of test takers, which I could see that. I mean, taking more than 3 in one of those cycles becomes quite a bit, given that you do have the option to withdraw beforehand. So you can withdraw, and law schools will never even know that you were registered for that particular test date. So if you're unsure, withdraw. If you're unsure and you haven't hit that postponement deadline yet, I would say postpone. That way LSAT keeps less of your money and you can retool for a future test date. But like I said, taking August, October, November, it's all good for this cycle. Going into January becomes a little bit less beneficial. There's less scholarship money available. Odds are maybe a little bit lower than otherwise, but getting a higher LSAT score would make it worth delaying if necessary. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.